morning, everybody. Yeah, and online too. So actually, during the whole pandemic, I'm pretty familiar with online, sitting there in the square, listen to everybody. So I haven't been in person for so long, and this morning actually it's a new experience for me. Especially this is my first talk, so you can tell I'm nervous. But good thing is that I came earlier, and my friend was living. She is living like 40 minutes away from here. So I told her, "Don't drop me off. Don't drive me off. I will walk." So when I was walking, and I was trying to calm myself down, and which is another kind of out of a cushion practice in our life too. And at the same time, I'm kind of reviewing the environment I used to live for 5 years that I'm really familiar with. So there were so many memories comes back. And at the same time, another thing, it seems like a very relaxed world, but I'm doing many things already, right? And I'm looking for the patterns on the way. So it is like 3 weeks ago when I contacted with Michael and Chris about maybe I should try to give a talk, and that thought came out, and I committed to it, and I got so nervous. I said, "What am I doing?" Right? And am I ready for that? But as Michael mentioned, I just finished the foundation of mindfulness training, and I have been with many of you, and maybe some new friends online I didn't know, but there are some. We are doing a commit to sit together for more than a year now. It's like Chris just told me, this is a very welcome family, a place that I actually feel like I'm comfortable to open to myself. This is my first, not just first Sunday morning talk, it's my first time to talk about Zentangle in the public. It's like, okay, we have to give it a try, right? So as Michael mentioned, we moved to Oak Park because my husband's job in 2014. And that time my son was around 5, 6, started the kindergarten. And I finally have time, because it was full day at school, I finally have 5, 6 hours. As many full-time moms will understand, like, oh, finally I get the free time, right? But what did I do with the free time? I had so many plans, so many thoughts in my head. But I guess first few weeks, what I only did was sleeping, clean the house, go shopping, prepare for them to come home. And I realized, oh my God, my 6 hours gone. I did nothing. And because the day by day was like that, it's like you started to feel you lose yourself. Besides, I'm my husband's wife, I'm my son's mom, and of course I have other roles to play in the family too. But who am I? And that was a time that really brought me to think I need to come back to myself. And I'm everywhere, but I couldn't sit still. And so lucky that in 2014, one of our actually students, Hula student, Nicole Smida, she brought me here as a friend for our winter show presentation. I feel so welcome, and because this is my first time have family life in a different country, and I had nobody I knew. So we built up our family life from the scratch. So here for me it's very another home. Like Michael said, it's sad I moved, but so lucky that because of COVID, I got to connect with everybody here too. And two things came to my life in that time when I was searching that what can I be back to myself. Jun's hula helped me to become more embodied, to be aware of myself. And then is a Zen. Before I signed up for the foundation training, I started actually with a Sunday morning Zen. And Chris actually was the first one that made me feel really welcome. They just gentle come and ask you, what's your name, and introduce herself. And then I don't have to feel like, oh, I have to social what, but I can observe. And the more I come, the more I observe, and I get used to it. Why I use observe, and which we are going to use for our Zentangle drawing later as well. At the same time, another friend in Taiwan, she joined Zentangle. She started her Zentangle, and through her, I found another online family. It's a private group for the Zentangle drawing. So I was following. And whole this process, the first things I want to share is our Zen practice. Like, what does practice mean to you? We had been asked by Roshi Robert, sorry. And what does practice mean to you? You see, all the talk or everything about Zen, if you just come and listen, yes, you still learn something, knowledge, right? But if you don't practice, if you don't put yourself there, for example, to sit, to be with yourself, even just breathe, right? To check in with yourself. This is not going to really work with you. Same as Zentangle drawing. I have to say, I'm pretty surprised that there are more and more people say, I think you're a really talented artist. Which for me is like, what? Because I have to share, when I was young in school, art is never been my thing. If I can run away, I would definitely run away. If I can take the work home, I would definitely find somebody to do it for me. But now it become my new thing that I really, really enjoy, and how it started. Okay, I forgot to announce. Online friends, if you have a pen, I have a pen and pencils or pen with you now. If not, go find it. We wait for you. Yeah, and while we are waiting, I want to keep you excited, but still calm as well. So let's just finding your sitting position, and because here in person, friends doesn't really have a table, so it won't be as easy as when you have a table, but finding your comfortable position, okay? And just feel your breath naturally, because later on we are going to use this in our practice today. Everybody back? Not yet. Okay, while we are waiting, we just simply be comfortable with your seat as well. In my practice, Zentangle practice, I found the position actually is very important. If at the beginning it wasn't that much, but then when I get more in it, I find the position is very important, and because otherwise I build up very bad habits. Like when we are doing meditation, sometimes if you're too rigid, you have a backache, your pain on your knees, right? So check with yourself. And when we are doing drawing, we use hands a lot. So how you use your hands has become very important. So there was a time when I was drawing, I got really in it. I couldn't stop, and I do a lot. And I started to have a thumb and wrist pain. And that really kicked me out for a while because I need my hands, right, in my life. So yeah, if you want to do long-term practice in many things, your posture, checking with yourself is very important. So I think, yes, we have everybody back now. Okay. So actually, for me, how did I start the Zentangle drawing? I started with whatever paper I can get in front of me. Very often, we feel like if I'm going to do something or look nice, fancy, or maybe something like I'm showing here, and you say, I have to find a very good paper, I have to find a good pen, and I don't know, there are so many preparation. I have to get it from outside. What I found out, you don't have to. Most of the time, you already have it around you. So this actually is not a pen I used to use. I had it with me, but I couldn't find it now. So anyway, I just started with the pen I usually use for writing, and I have a post-it or any paper around me that I can draw. I just use that. So, okay, so you already checking with yourself, right? Okay, just take a few more breaths to feel yourself with your breathing, because we are going to try out the drawing, very basic one. I found after 4 or 5 years practice, this is coming back to me more and more. Same as a meditation. When you go around, you have so many technique methods you learn, but at the end, you still come back to check with yourself, right? Okay, so now I'm going to have you, for in person here, maybe you draw a line, just a very gentle line in between, so you cut it half, because I'm going to do one experiment first. So online, if you have more than one paper, it's okay. And just imagine this experience probably will take us 5 minutes, right? So don't make it too big. If you have an A4, maybe imagine what can I draw in 5 minutes. That will be the size you are going to use, okay? So now we are going to put 4 dots. I'm going to start from very, very basic shapes that we use in Zentangle, how they build up. Actually, many things you can find out how they build up just from these very 5 basic shapes. First, I want you to find the 4 corners. According to your wish, put 4 dots. It can be big, it can be small. 4 dots. Sorry, too small. Okay. So now we are going to make a connection, which yesterday, if you did join the morning meditation, we talked about connection. So now we are going to make a connection. The second basic things that people use in Zentangle is line. So you are going to use a line to connect with your 4 dots. And imagine it's like this small table, or it's like our zafu. You're going to make a square. So as you wish, you can draw a straight line, or it can be a curvy line just around the border. So inside the border lines, it will be the place we are going to experience together. So you already learned 2 basic shapes. And now the third one, I would like to invite you, Since here we are in the Zen center, we are going to put a Z in our space, in between our space. This Z can be any direction you want, okay? So it can touch the border in a different direction. For example, can you see? This is just one example. You can go wherever you want. Just put a Z in between, okay? Okay, so with the Z, you kind of divided the space. Same as in our life, when we want to do things, it can be too big at the beginning. But if we learn how to make it small, divide it, break it down, and it will make the work much easier. Okay. So now I'm going to introduce you the third basic shape that we usually do is circle. Choose one space, any space. Draw a circle. It can be a big circle, it can be a small circle. If you need me help, I'm here.
So the circle goes in the thing that we already made?
Yeah, goes in. If this is your own practice, it doesn't matter, but I just want to get most of people to have a similar experience. That's why we do it this way, okay? You can draw, if you have your first circle, then draw your second one, third one. Take your time, slow. If you can do it with your breathing, it will be very good too. What I usually do is that when I am drawing a circle, when I inhale, I kind of visualize where I'm going to put my pen down. And when I have my out breath, then I start to draw my circle. And sometimes it may stop. Before you finish your out breath, you already finish your drawing, right? It's okay. Take a pause, rest. And then you start with your another breathings, then you start another circle, okay? So let's try to fill all that space with a circle. So, and do it slow. You don't have to I'm going to accomplish anything or it has to be a perfect circle. No, it doesn't have to. Just to feel how your pen touch the paper and how your hands feel when you draw. It's in a very relaxed way, or you kind of hold it tight, very strong. I know some people are heavy handwriting, so try to relax. Otherwise, if you're interested in this and then keep going, then you may start to have a wrist or thumb pain like I experienced before. Okay, done? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, so now we are going to use your second space. The four basic shape I'm going to introduce is S. In your mind, imagine how you are going to write your first S, like a snake in the space.
In the same space?
You did create the different, in your square, you kind of create 3 or 4 space, am I right? Like small space.
Yes.
Yeah, so use another one, not a circle one, or any spot is okay. Any spot you feel like to put an S, the first S, remember to do it with your breathing. And now I want you to go around it, kind of a parallel to your S. It can go on the top or bottom, okay? Just try to parallel it. Does it work? Yeah. So for example, you can go, yes. Okay, so what I mean parallel is that you can go just around it. See, you want to go this way or you want to go to the top, it doesn't matter. And look at it. Is that a space? Do you feel like you want to have a very similar space, like dancing together? Or it doesn't matter. You just keep going. Few more. You can draw another S and pay attention to when you draw the line. Yeah. If you finish, you can keep going while we are waiting. And in the last one, what we are going to do is the last basic shape we call C. ABCC, right? Okay, with the same manner, we are going to draw any space you want, it's okay. Draw a C. And you repeat the C pattern that next to the first C you just draw. Yeah. So keep going, it's okay, like you can listen. So now you kind of have a dot, you have a line, straight line or a curvy line. You have a S, you have a C, you have a circle on your paper. Now let's take a few seconds, look what you just did. And just take a few more seconds to feel how do you feel in this process? You feel like, I don't know what am I doing. Basically, this is practice with not knowing as well, right? What I found out in my drawing, many things that people say, wow, it's amazing, which I'm going to share some pieces that I did. I usually will take, when I finish the first things or the pattern I want to do, I will stop. And then I will look at it in different angle. This is really nothing, right? And then I look at a different angle, and I would, in my one, I still have a many space. So then I will start to look at my thoughts. I don't push or I don't design or I have a plan for what I'm going to make. I let it come. I let it talk to me. So when I have this, I will look at it. I didn't finish my circle. Maybe I want to go back to finish the circle. But this time, I'm going to pay attention how my circle around each other. Any space in between, or they are very neat. One goes one. And you kind of see a personality there too, right? Just with this very basic pattern, the pattern, it already tells you how you feel at this moment. You may change. This is how I learned from my past 4 or 5 years, and it does change and evolve. The first, when I draw, it was just like, I think the kindergartner draw better than me. It's like, what? And so funny, it's like, just as I mentioned, I joined a group and they encourage you just share. Every week we have a topic and you just go learn how to do the pattern and then share. It doesn't matter you think you are professional, you do good or not. And what I learned is like, I didn't share anything. It's because every time when I look at people, I say, I'm not going to open myself that way. It's vulnerability, right? It's shame. I draw like worse than the kindergartner. But there was a time I finally had that courage. I said, it doesn't matter. I just want to see how people is going to feel. And I take everything what they say. Luckily, that was a very warm group too. People just give you a thumbs up, they give you a heart, and there is the tip I use up to these days, and I found it very, very useful, which I just shared with you all. Go slow, just go slow. So now you have a more space. I want to that you have that experience. What does that mean, go slow? Okay, and I have another point I want to say after this. Okay, so this time in your space, I want you to try to draw a line, a straight line, as straight as possible. Okay, don't be rigid, just draw a straight line. When you finish the first one, you go to the second one. And every time when you draw it, feel your pen, how your pen touch the paper. And don't forget, go with your breath. And if you already finished one direction, maybe you can try to turn around your paper. Maybe draw from the other direction. When I need to draw a long line, I usually will try to breathe and then start with the out breath. I found out that way I can be more relaxed and more focused on my line. Maybe you want to give it a try. And there will be a time with your out breath, you probably couldn't finish that one line. What would you do? Are you forcing yourself just hold my breath and keep going? That's hard. What I learned, another thing is stop at the point. If you couldn't finish a line, stop at that point. Take another breath and be gentle, touch the end with the line and just keep going. Usually this way, you'll be pretty surprised. You would just look one line. If even people pay very close attention to look at it, they may not find actually you separated it with 2 or 3 times. You still get that one line. And the speed usually, some people will ask, oh, how many time do you spend to draw this? Some people will tell you, I only spend 30 minutes. Some people will tell you, oh, you know, it takes me half day. And, or maybe I didn't just finish it at once. I do it actually in 2-3 days in my free time when I feel it. Or some people, they set up the regular practice time just like we do. For the morning meditation, noon or nighttime, you set up a regular time. And how I started usually is like, I don't try to say today I'm going to accomplish a piece of a work. I just go how much I feel or how much I can go with the time I have. It's a very relaxed way. So this actually reflect to me. Actually, I was after I decided to have a talk, I started to post my pieces on Facebook, and one day, Barbara responded to my piece. He said, "When I look at your art, I feel like I breathe better, relax." And I answered her, I said, yes, you got a point. That's how I draw. I draw with breathing. So she didn't know how I do it, right? But the way I do it, actually, it's already represented in my finished work, in that process. So the last thing I want to say is like, Zentangle drawing for me up to now, it's not separate from my Zen practice. It's we are all busy. We cannot grab many things in many ways, but we can integrate and they work together. I found when I practice meditation regularly, I usually draw my my art regularly too. And here, the last things are, since we are using the Zentangle drawing method, I feel I have a need to give the credit who found this way. It's a couple, the husband called, let me see, in case I said the name wrong, which I'm really bad at memorize name. Okay, so the husband name is Rick Roberts and his wife name is Maria Thomas. And what Rick found when Maria was drawing something like repeatedly, like actually what we were just doing, if you do it slow and you eventually you'll feel relaxed yourself. You will not work very hard, but in a very relaxed way, because you go with your breath, you go with your own pattern, your own flow. That's what he's, and in this way, because we started from very, very simple way, like dot, circle, line, S or C shape, all the things we learned since we were very, very little. So what it means is like, you know, in this method, there is no right or wrong. And we are all have the artist live inside us, just like our Buddha nature. I hope this experience that bring you some, share. I did share some of my experience, and I hope it bring the joy to your life. And another thing, I hope you open to anything that you think you are not good at it. Give a practice. Roshi keeps saying, practice, practice. We say to our kids, practice make it perfect. But we don't have to be perfect, but practice make you better and better. Thank you. And at the end, I think, I don't know, So she can, at the end, can we share some, maybe some, the photos I just gave to you online, and so maybe everybody can just find your way. So what I'm sharing here, just pause here. There are a few pieces I'm trying to show you is like the process, how I did it. Actually, is really from small, and sometimes I do it with a circle. And the people will say, if I don't have a tool, how can I draw a circle? For example, you find anything around you. The circle, I put it, and I found a different one, so I can create a different circle just by that. And sometimes we say, oh, how can I make it look everything like a similar size? And I just have my checkpoint. For example, you know, like clock, you have 3, you have 6, 9, 12. And then I will see if I want to divide it to more space. That's how I usually start it. Okay, so we can just keep going, and then I'm not going to say anything, but you see what you see. And then we can have the end we can have a few minutes for discussion or sharing. Okay, enjoy. I did this spring.
These are just the progression.
Yes, yes. And you can stop in any spot you want, and you can just keep going if you feel like. And the outside just one line, the line that twisted, but they don't touch each other until I feel of the space. Did you see the meditation? I did this one after June's hula lesson. And here actually is the same. I very often look at my pieces in a different angle. Very often I use my phone, take a photo, just record and see how I look at it at a moment. Yeah. And all this just started from what we just practiced. Very, very simple. And even at the beginning, I don't usually use color. I like color. My son tell me, Mom, why you don't put any color? I say, I love the color, but the color will take away my attention at this moment. So my early pieces is always black and white. But even with the black and white, you already create you can create like 3D, the different depth for your pieces already. So this one, I just did on my Post-it, like a small, like 2 inches, 2 by 2 inches, yeah. The cutie one, yeah. So just to experience the lines, basically. And at the end, I put the face for it. Okay, I think this will be the last one. Sometimes we use a stream, just like we did with the Z, to create more small space. And in every space, you can see where you want to start it. You just start from a small spot with anything you feel like. So there's no right or wrong again. Yeah. And everything is possible. Yeah. So just one twisted line, and then you connect it, and you change a little bit. Yeah, sometimes we use more ink, go around the same line, and it will already pop up, and I don't know what I was doing that time. But the first pair of line came out, I said, okay, let's do this, experience that. So you can always go very complicated, but how they started from very, very basic, simple pattern that came to you, or you feel like you, that call to you that moment. Yeah. So this one will be a piece that for our coming silence auction. Yeah, there's a friend, she and her husband name is, well, I forgot, all stuff on J. I said, okay, let's make a joy with a splash water. Just, small thing, twisting. Oh, I didn't know this one. I thought I put them together. Yeah. I was imagining the jingle leaves fell off in this moment, and I was experiencing making lei with June online, so I kind of used that. And when you put on the finish, sign your name and put on the frame, and that's another way to enjoy as well. This is my first try with a very soft paper, so you have to go very gentle, otherwise it just breaks. It just broke. So my first try, I practiced gentleness. Yeah, you see, it can be just a simple leaves, and you turn around different direction. This is a later on, I started to try with a color on the black paper. So, and then you, of course, you started to use different kinds of a pen or pencils, and then you go slow to feel how you feel with this pen, this pencil, if you're going to work with it. And this is just from my observation from how they call I forgot the name, the flower, the summertime, bird food or something. Yeah, it's just around the next to the road. I saw it. I said, okay, how can I use just one shape and to recreate? So that's the experiment. Okay, I hope you all have fun. Thank you. So it's time to open to everybody. Oh, forgot to say, I'm not certified Zentangle certified teacher. I'm just, not professional. I'm just having fun and happy to share with you all. Yeah, if you are interested in learning more, which actually Katie told me her son recently just learned from school. And this actually is a very good method for the school students to calm them down and to explore the art. Like, I don't have to be like a Van Gogh so I can be good in art. It opens you. If you just have a pen and pencil, if you can write, you can draw in your way. It doesn't have to like somebody's. And there are so many patterns. So when you, even here, we see the wood floor and we see our ceiling. And when you go out, maybe on the sidewalk, pay attention to that and see if there's something catch your eyes and say, maybe today when I have time, 5 minutes, I can to recreate. And that actually helps your observation and concentration in the life too. Okay, so,
I was just going to ask you that. Do you think that by doing Zentangle that you increased your mindfulness?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
In sort of your world?
In my world, especially because I'm a nature lover. So since I started, I do like nature, especially flowers and trees. I pay a lot of attention about them. But I never tried to draw because I was so bad, right? I took pictures. But then when I started, I found out, I learned use a very basic pattern just to catch maybe like a maple tree leaves, and it became so easy. Yeah, just I say I can, because when I can break it down to the small parts, and I can connect them again together. And how I connect them, it's become my creativity. Yeah. Thank you. So, more question or?
Shu-Ping?
Yes, Roshi.
Just beautiful, and make me smile. I feel a lot of joy of seeing your work. And we did a Zentangle workshop with Jason Poole.
Yeah, I remember.
4 or 5 years ago, and I was it's just an amazing process. Anyone can do it, and it's such a magical thing when you start with not knowing, and you just do these patterns, and before you know it, anyone can draw something beautiful from not knowing, and it's very relaxing too, and mindful. So yes. I just love what you're doing. It's just so beautiful and joyful and heartfelt. So thank you so much for sharing this with us this morning. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My question. The microphone?
Yeah, I just wanted to say the work that you showed is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And even just doing this right now, I just kept surprising myself with the stuff that I was creating. So I just want to thank you for this wonderful talk and for walking us through this beautiful exercise. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, so it was really wonderful talking, beautiful images. And one thing that they reminded me of the most, and I want to share that is, don't know if you have ever seen, but sometimes in the museum you will see these like ridiculous drawings that are called exquisite corpse.
Yeah.
Where people are continuing other people's drawing, and it ends up being some sort of strange creature or whatever. Your drawings look to me like you're playing that game with yourself, and that is so beautiful. Feels very self-illuminating. So thank you. It's lovely.
And it's a very relaxing way to spend time with yourself, actually. It doesn't have to be a Zentangle, right? It can be anything you like, but with the same type of manner that you probably teach today, or you in your meditation practice or Zen practice. Use what you learn and in your daily life, and it really brings you lots of joy and calmness, I guess. Yes. Yeah. So anyone online? Claire?
I have my son Colin here, and he was going to share his Zentangle with everybody. So, hang on one second. Yes.
Is that Kenny's son?
Yeah, that's her son. And here's the Zentangle. They made it in class in 7th grade at Brooks.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing. How do you feel when you were drawing?
How did you feel when you were drawing it?
Relaxed, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And you feel connect with mom, right? Mom doing so many things in Zen.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
You give me an idea. Actually, there was one thing I forgot to share is I did this experiment with my son too. And if you have a kids or grandchildren, you can do as well. Any paper. And what I did is that, for example, I have a square, right? I cut it, I draw a line in between. So I choose one pattern, or he choose one pattern, and we just repeat. And he does his part, I do my part, and at the end we look at it together. That was a fun time to spend time with your children as well. Yeah. Okay, Blair?
Well, I was just noticing the, looking at your designs, there was a regularity, a repetition, and yet, looking at the lines carefully, they're not perfect. The distances, it's not mechanical or, machine made. It's there's a real humanness to there's a human being who made this, so it's a very combination of the calm that comes with seeing something repeated, but also your influences in there as well. It's lovely to see.
Thank you. And also, like I mentioned, it may go with your personalities. Some people are more like industrial design. So you can see their line are more heavy or straight. It's okay. That's what you like metal things. And that is your thing. Yeah. For me, my line usually is not straight or all the same. What I found in the nature, even you look at the same name of flower, they are not going to be the same, everyone. So why you want to force yourself, be harsh on yourself? No, I have to draw exactly the same. If I don't do that, and this is so bad, and I feel, sad. And there will be a time, like accidentally, you just put a dot or line, and you're so pissed off. It's like, oh no, I just did this beautiful, and then this happened. Can you sit with that? Just look at it. Okay, I'm very upset now. But let me tell you, there are many of my pieces that turn out the best part actually is from a mistake. If I'm willing to go back to face it, it's okay. Let me look at you, what I can do with you, and then I will start to play around, and it comes out something different. Yeah, so don't be too upset if that happens. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Oh. Thank you, everybody. This is a wonderful experience for me as well. And it's the first time we were doing this like online in person. I'm pretty confused myself as well. I may not bring you the best experience at this moment, but I guess you all touch something. So don't throw your paper away. Just look at it. And when you have a try, see if you want to add something to it, and then see what it comes out at the end. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shu-Ping.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is great.
Shu-Ping. Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're amazing, Shu-Ping.
Thank you.
What Robin said, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
All heart.
Yeah.
All heart.
Yeah. Thank you.
wave now.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for coming.